Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to, well, the Essen Hall, or the remainder of the Essen Hall. Let me go ahead and start out and apologize. I am under the weather, so if I sound like a frog, like I just came back from a con, it's kind of a minor miracle that I haven't gotten sick up to this point this year. However, given the year, it was bound to happen. So just a bit of a cold, so forgive me, and I may have to mute to sneeze here or there. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So if you missed the first haul video, the first video is everything that we muled back from Spiel ourselves. We nested games inside of games inside of games. And these we did not. These were shipped the last day of the convention on Sunday. It is a total of 60 kilos in 2 boxes, and there is another 14 kilos in games that we muled or that we shipped the day after Essen from the city center. So figure show you guys a bunch of the games that we picked up, as well as the majority of what we're going to be featuring between the podcast and the YouTube channel. Speaking of the podcast, down below, if you go to heavycardboard.com, every fortnight mostly, we do a podcast focusing on one review. So there's that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us and spending a Tuesday morning here, East Coast time, with me, and wherever you are, if you're at work here in the States or after work overseas. Appreciate y'all spending some time with me today. So let's go ahead, get started. Let's see what all we got, shall we? So, first up, Feld. Yeah, I got to be honest. I've heard a lot of things about this game, and I haven't heard a whole lot of positive about this game thus far, which is kind of, well, if we're being honest, me and Stefan have kind of diverged a bit in our likes lately over the last handful of years. He put out, let's see, 2 games this year, one of which we have not gotten yet, the Carpe Diem, which I've actually heard quite a few good things about. Now, does that mean not gonna check the game out and make our own decision? Absolutely not, and I recommend everybody else doing that on their own as well. But Forum Trajanum, there we go. I have such a hard time with the name of this one. I haven't heard a whole lot of positive so far about this game, but that's not to say that it's not a good game. That's just scuttlebutt. That's just a rumor. But I'm looking forward to checking it out and seeing, actually we'll put it over that way, seeing what all comes of that. On the other end of the spectrum, a game that I've heard quite a bit about and actually I've heard quite a bit about, and most of it's positive, is Newton from Cranio Creations, as well as, I think here in the States, I think Simon is doing this one. So we'll go ahead and open this one up here. And, you know, if I was smart, I would have got a razor blade for me for today. I was not. All right. So, this was all the rage at Gen Con. I think Simon brought like 20, 25 copies of this each day, and a lot of times they were sold out before the hall even opened. Which, you know, you'll notice that the rule book is not in English. It's in, I believe, Italian. Cranio Creations is Italian, so obviously we'll have to get the English version of the rule book, but Looks like it's laid out well. And I know this isn't the ZOMG, the hotness. Big insert, which is going to get thrown out. We got some cards. We got some wooden bits. Player board. All right. Zadarjin, is that how you say it? Says Newton and Underwater Cities so far favorites of the year. Okay. Underwater Cities, which actually we muled back with us, haven't gotten a chance to try yet. I've heard a lot of good things about. The one thing that I would say is not to play that game 4 players, your first time playing it. I've heard it taking excessively long in those cases, but some of the punch boards, more player board, and the other actual board there. All right, so Newton, looking forward to digging into this. I know this is solid mid-weight, but nonetheless, looking forward to checking it out. So Newton. All right, cool. Next up, we have one of the games that I was really, really looking forward to. Futuretopia, Friedman Freeze, which is supposed to be a economic game. Obviously, Friedman is designed a plethora of different games here. Players live in a future utopian society which possesses desirable lifestyle qualities for all of the citizens. Too bad this is not today's reality. So, economic game of Friedman Freeze, I'm willing to give it a shot. And throw that down there. Box got a little bit smushed on the trip, but that's not too bad. So a lot of wooden meeples and little building looking things. Paper money, which will never be touched. Some baggies. Now I'm not going to open up every single box that we have gotten. A literal tech tree board. Yeah, it looked like it was, Brian, actually. Some of the punch boards. All right. More. We have the rule book. I was looking forward to this a bit more than I am now. Again, still going to dig into it and make my own assessment and judgment of the game, but let's just say my anticipation on this one's been tempered a bit. Yeah, I think so. So let's see. Well, let me catch up here. Yeah, Rob says I was looking forward to Forum Trajanum, but I've also relegated it to try before buy. Seems like a solid game, but won't have anything to be excited about. That's kind of Stefan Feld in a nutshell for me nowadays. That try before buy, you know, and it's just he and I have taken divergent paths on what it is that we enjoy in games. So there's that. Heard you mentioned again on Dukes of Dice regarding baseball highlights, Scott. I'd like to try it. The problem with baseball highlights is if it's a real life sport, I tend to want real life situations, real life players, real life teams, which is probably not realistic given licensing. So that's what really has me apprehensive about baseball highlights, but I'm willing to give it a shot for sure, right? So. All right, Pierre says the theme's very original and fun. Played it. I have to say the game itself is repetitive, and you can kind of figure out the game and solve it. Huh, interesting. And Ali asks, has Friedman made a really good game beyond Power Grid? There is one, and well, Power Grid being the main one, but, and forgive me that I can't think of the name. Obviously, it's 2 words, starts with F. But where players program movement a bit, where they're running from a monster that actually I really, really enjoy and can't think of the name. But yeah, I think Power Grid is is his masterpiece for sure. So, all right, cool. All right, so let's keep moving. And I have a feeling this is going to be a mistake doing what I'm doing, putting these at the end of the table like this, but that's all right. So next up, from the fine folks over at Two Tomatoes, in a game that we actually did a playthrough of with a prototype, is New Corp Order Deluxe. If you are a fan of the show and you've watched most of the playthroughs, you probably saw this one. And we really enjoyed our playthrough of this. This is back, we did this in, obviously, if we're showing it now and it just came out, then it probably happened in Denver. But nonetheless, picked up my copy of this there. So welcome new folks. Fresh Fish. No, that wasn't it. What was it? Fearsome Floors. Thank you, Randall. That was the game I was talking about. Ah, all right. Here we go. A game about marketing and manipulation. I think that's pretty true of what the game was about. That is a really, really thick rule book, but it's in multiple languages. Okay. See how it turned out. All right. Punch boards for the tiles there, as opposed to the cards that we had. And cards. Oh, and lots of custom wooden dudes, custom wooden meeples. So, nice. It looks good. Production quality on that turned out good. Happy to see. Enjoyed our play of it. So, New Corp Order Deluxe. Finally got my copy. All right. Instead of just the prototype. All right, next from the fellows over at Board and Dice, we have The Awakening, a story-driven escape game. And this plays 1 to 4, so it's very well possible that you're going to see this as a solo game coming from me here. Is an escape room style game where you're not limited by time in order to finish the adventure. The game focuses on story and your exploration of it, all while engaging with the puzzles within and making your choices deeply immersive. It's possible that, you know, I might have somebody else on the show with me to go through this one. I think that would be a fun game. Now it says the time on this, if you notice, 3 to 6 hours. Now the only apprehension I have about doing that with this is, am I ruining the experience for folks? I think as long as we put plenty of spoilers on there and explain to folks, hey, if you're watching this, you might ruin your own experience with the game. And I think as long as we do that, that should be okay. So we have the rule book. Hey, Jan. Rainy late afternoon in France. Well, it rained all day and all night yesterday here in Boston. So kind of a Sherlock Holmes-esque, it looks like, kind of. Looking at the little paragraphs and little clues and hints that it has here. That's what there. Big cards with numbers and maybe locations or something on the back. Spoiler alert, this is the bottom of the deck. Don't look through the cards before playing. So that's a nice touch. I'm glad that they did that. Put that on the bottom here. Looking for escape rooms in your area? Oh, this is cool. Let me zoom in and show you this. That's pretty cool. So depending on where you are. I mean, obviously it only has some countries, but that's pretty cool. Go to lock.me. All right. Nice. Ooh, a little far. There we go. All right. And preparations take longer than they should. You start to get, oh, okay, these are actual, oh, that would be another deck. And we have some tokens, and that's it. And I'm curious, nope, there's nothing underneath the Nothing underneath the insert there. So, all right. So I'm curious, is this something you guys would like as a solo afternoon game? You know, maybe it's snowing out and I had to call an audible because people couldn't make it for a game day or a stream. Maybe bust that out sometime. Hey, Filippo, welcome. Oh, QE just launched on Kickstarter. Very cool. All right. I wonder why that happened. I wonder where the buzz came from that. All right. Something that I am really, really looking forward to showing off on the stream here. A moment. Let's see. Ah, that's trash. All right. Oh, thanks, Adam. I appreciate you doing that, posting all the games in Slack. That's awesome. So if you missed the first bit and you're a patron, you can go onto the Slack channel and see what Adam posted. I would also repost the first list also, Adam, if you could do that. That'd be cool. All right. Nice. All right. That's actually a good point, Brian. Could probably better solo games, but there are only so many. But I'm just throwing out there as an option. So expansion to Whistlestop. I need to feature actually Whistlestop, the base game first. But here we go. Rocky Mountains. I mean, come on, Denver and area. So 21 new tiles, mountain range, and 9 new upgrades. Cool. All right. So Whistlestop expansion, Rocky Mountains. Okay. Then one that I absolutely am looking forward to showing off to you guys. And you've seen Albin talking about it as well as others on Twitter. If you follow me and or Albin Viard or AV Studio Games over on Twitter. The Engineer's Workbook. So let's bust this open. Now, he did give a little piece of plexi to go over the top of this so that you use a white erase or a dry erase marker to play it with and show you an idea on what some of these look like. Just flipping through randomly. Nice little coffee stain on it. Speaking of which, it's a good idea. Hey, Daniel in Aurora. Nice. All right. Whoa. That looks involved. Cool. That looks great, Albin. Good stuff. All right. And then, obviously, the rule book for it. And it even has 2-player rules. This is definitely something that I would probably feature doing solo on the show, and I think that we would benefit from that. So this next game was a throw-in from a publisher. It was the designer's first game, and they were like, "Yeah, here, just take this," and like foisted it upon us. Okay, so it's from the Igar Alavir, I believe is how you say his name. This is from the fella over at 2d6.ee games, which predominantly are what I think of as war games. Making Profit, the board game, so economic game. I was like, oh, really? Never heard of this game. I'll be completely honest. I looked it up on BGG. The ratings are not flattering for this one, but this may or may not be, and I would likely say may not be one that we feature on the show, but curious to see what the components look like. That is not English. That is not English. That is not. That is, though. So those actually can just straight be trashed. There we go. All right. That is single piece of paper. Both sides. Oh, my. Old school plastic poker chips. Haven't seen these in a while. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm falling behind here on chat. I'm sorry, guys. Tramways expansion, yes, it is standalone solo predominantly, I guess it is 2-player as well. Nice, Board Game Trucker. Okay. Cool. All right, good deal. All right. So anyway, old school poker chips, some sort of cards. We have giant plastic, what I imagine are in player colors. Those are pretty actually thick. Those are little buildings. And the main deck of cards, not in English, although I imagine some of these will be. So, okay. Yeah, not a priority, I'll be honest, but we'll see. But the game that I was looking forward to from 2D6, and the reason that went over to their booth was one of the games that was on my list of anticipated games, and that is 1918, Death on the Rails. 2-player block war game. And does it have a time? Yeah, it does. 1 to 2 hours. So once we get our PTZ cameras, then going to be featuring a lot of block war games, I'm hoping. So after the capitulation of Imperial Germany in 1918, the representatives of Germany formally handed over political power to the Estonian provisional government, on 16 November 1918. An order was given by Russian Red Army HQ to follow the retreating German units. On 28 November 1918, the 6th Red Rifle Division struck the border town of Narva, which marked the beginning of the Estonian War of Independence. I'll be honest, I know very little to nothing about the Estonian War of Independence, and that's one of the real big appeals of war games like this, is to get to find out about these subjects and to get me interested in wanting to learn about history. And war games do an excellent job of doing that. So let's take a look at this, shall we? So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that 2DE is from, wait for it, Estonia. They're an Estonian company, I'm assuming. So non-English rulebook. But if you look at this, not a real long rulebook, 5 pages. It's 12 pages, but it shows only 5 pages are the actual rules, and it's pretty big font. Hey, Brian, you ought to come out so we could play this after I get the PTZ camera. There you go. And that's it. And then it's got some scenarios in it here. You know what? I'm going to zoom out just a hair. There you go. Historical notes, which always appreciate that. And a little player aid on the back. Dude, it's got a punch-out train. You see this? That's awesome. Okay, so big markers. Stickers, I assume, for the blocks. That's to be anticipated, and not a ton of them. And very simple, but okay. So I'll be honest, when I first heard about this game, the reason I got interested in it just by the name is, well, I thought it might be a train game. And then found out it was a block war game, and I'm like, wow, this is winning. Block war game and trains. So more boards. So there's a total of 4 double-sided boards, it looks like. Large hexes. Look like 2-inch hexes. And then big chunky wooden dice. Your 2 sides of the blocks and deck of cards, which, woo. All right, we need to look at the cards real quick. Let's dig into these because I'm curious what these actually look like. Gaurav says, Edward, may I say that my wallet is kind of hating you right now? All I'm doing is showing you what we brought. Oh, okay, so this is not ideal. I'll admit that. Hold on, I get like this sticky piece on my hand. A moment. There we go. Get a drink. Yeah, Kabuki Kid. War games are often catalysts to wanting to learn about history. Totally agree. And Neo says, couldn't agree more. One of my favorite parts about introducing my kids to board gaming, improving their and my knowledge in so many subjects, history, geography, politics. 100% agree with that. So here are the backs of the cards, right? All the same. The graphic design on this, not ideal. I gotta admit. Zoom in on this. So it's got a big number in red, smaller numbers in blue, and a smaller one or down below in green. Yeah, that's not an ideal. I mean, I know they tried to put it on the lighter part of the wood for the railroad ties here, but not the design I would have gone with. I appreciate the aesthetic, but function over form, right? All right. Hey, Tony, welcome. So, all right. They're legible, but I hope nobody's red, green, colorblind. Well, I guess as long as you know the red numbers are at the top, the green numbers are at the bottom, and blue in the middle, I guess that wouldn't be the end of the world, but still. And this is in a very, very well-lit room. Some unfortunate choices there, but all right, is what it is. There, let's go ahead, put this up. So that, I'll go over the name again here in a moment. Really? All right. Insert's coming out now. Hold on. There. There we go. There. Go. Everything fits nice and neat. And again, that is 1918. Death on the Rails. Cool, from 2d6.ee, hence Estonian. That makes sense. Cool. All right, what do we got next? Another game that got handed to us, was not anticipating this one, was Green Box of Games. So this is from there's a group of Norwegian publishers and designers that got together. And they kind of, you know how, if you're familiar with Taiwan Board Game Design Group or Japan Brand or some of those others that basically are taking games, publishers and or designers of their country and getting them together and kind of giving them a bigger audience to where individually they couldn't afford, say, to come to Essen, but as a group they could. And that's what the Norwegian group has done here, and this is one of the designers / publishers of that, and there. So there we go. So 3 to 99 ages, 1 to 10. It's a group of 16 different games. So I know very little about what this is. It's a game system in a box, as it says here, and there we go. So Jorgen, okay, so cool. So he was like, hey, will you take this and take a look and see if you enjoy any of them. So, I mean, maybe a couple of these are pretty good. We'll see. We'll give it a try on a day where don't feel like learning a bigger, heavier game. So it's just a box of components here and a bunch of games that are within it. Kind of like a pyramid arcade type system. So, okay, we'll give it a try. We'll see. Not going to spend too much time on that. All right. But one of the main reasons we were at that booth to begin with, though, is a game that I was highly looking forward to and still am. And let me get the name of the publisher on this one. It is Pitt Games. Roman history, intrigue, donning the purple. Oh, that fit real well, didn't it? Look at that. Okay. Reynal, to answer your question, I appreciate that. Thanks. We actually went to a Turkish meal, and it was an amazing meal. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. No, Jeff, they are not bought yet, but I will say that Christmas is coming, and I'm hoping they're really expensive. So I ask for a little bit of patience, but it's soon. Soon for at least one of the PTZ cameras. Okay, Jeff, that is coming. All right. All right. So anyway, Donning the Purple. Looking forward to this. So here we go. All right. Asymmetrical King of the Hill game with a bit of worker placement. Each player leads a powerful family in ancient Rome, trying to get their most victory points during 4 rounds. If your family member becomes the emperor and manages to hold the position, can earn a lot of points, however, will also become the target of other players, and they'll try to dethrone him and become the new emperor themselves. So it's almost an involved King of Tokyo. I'm obviously kidding. The guys over at Pitt Games are a really, really good group of dudes. I think they will get a kick out of the analogy there. I really should have brought a razor blade. There we go. I'm looking up there on the shelves to see if I have any, and I don't think I do. Oh, wait, there's one up there. If I struggle too much, I will go get one. So I will say that a couple of patrons did do a demo of this and said this is a really mean game. As long as you don't mind a whole lot of backstabbing and a whole lot of take that, this is very well might be a good game for you. So keep that in mind. All right. Advanced game mode rules on page 17, so large font here. Looks well laid out. Can't speak to how good the rule book is yet. But page 17 is the advanced rules here. There you go. Punch board. Oh, wow, that punches well. It just fell off in my hand. That's a good sign. Quality components, it looks like. Oh, these are nice. They're not paper. These are pretty thick. You can kind of see there. So cool, good. And these are the same thickness. So thicker than what you would get with like Terraforming Mars, as an example. They're not super thick, but they're not cardstock either. The board is small, but a good little, it's thick, little 6-panel, but a small 6-panel at that. All right. Yeah, production quality on this looks really nice. It's a D4. I hate D4s. I wish they would have like done a D8 with double numbers, you know, there. But all right, some custom dice there, cards, and a bunch of wooden bits here. All right, cool. Donning the Purple. This is one that you almost assuredly will see on the show in the coming weeks and months. So when, I'm not going to promise, but definitely a game that I am excited about, and hopefully some of y'all will have tried it or have tried it either at Essen or whatnot afterwards. I think this was a Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this had gone to Kickstarter and is now available to folks. So gadshill. This is a definitely not necessarily a heavy cardboard centric game, but it's one that I personally was interested in. Been looking for this game for a couple years. Oh, before we get into gadshill, let me go back to chat here. The rabbi says heard good things about Donning the Purple. Oh, Felix did back it. Okay. Yeah, kind of time of crisis vibe. That's actually a really good analogy, I think, Felix, at least the vibe of it. So, yeah. Yeah, Kabuki Kid, that's right, a D8, D4 that rolls. That's exactly how it should be. So anyway, Gadshill, 1874. Got dinged a little, but we're okay. The city, Gadshill, was founded in 1872. In 1874, it gained popularity through the first train robbery in Missouri committed by the James Younger gang. Today, there is hardly anything that remains, it says remains, but remains on Gadshill. Just a sign. The place where the gang stopped the train gives evidence of the earlier existence of the city. How did Gadshill look like, or what did Gadshill look like 140 years ago? You can tell that English was not their first language. Where did the duels take place? Where was the hotel located where the Pinkerton detectives spent the night? Where had the Younger brothers been seen? Take your part on reconstructing the city. The player brings in the most relevant information, wins the game. Based on the concept of Old Town that has been awarded several times, it says. So, yeah, it just kind of reconstructing history appealed to me. It sounded interesting, so I wanted to get a copy of Gadshill for a couple of years, and they had it again this year, and I finally made it over there. And Johan asks, have I ever tried any of the exit escape room games? I have. I tried the abandoned cabin one with a group at HeavyCon. Year before last or last year, I can't remember which it was, and few things have made me feel more stupid than that. I'm not good at those, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yeah. Also a game that I will not feature on the show because it's a one-time use type game, right? So, well, it's got a train. That's a good start. Okay. It's a super thick rule book, but only half of it is in English. It splits, depending on which way you read it, English or not English. So, cool. All right, not going to spend a ton of time on that, but a game that I'm looking forward to checking out, and I don't anticipate this being a HC game. Maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast. Oh, we tried this, we played it, whatever. And maybe it proves me wrong. We shall see. All right. A game that we featured the prototype of and helped bring more attention to that I'm pretty proud of. Our buddy Nick Case over in the UK. And yes, Nick, in the next 24 hours, you'll have an invoice, I promise. Tales of the Northlands, Sagas of Noggin the Nog. I had 4 copies of this Nick gave us. One for our buddy Adrian, one for Amanda, one for us, and one to give away. So we're going to be giving away a copy of this in a future live stream or episode on the show. But Sagas and Noggin the Nog, if you know nothing about this game, all I'm going to say is go check out our playthrough of this or our discussion with Nick from LyriaCon or my interview with Nick. I think it's really, I'd recommend the interview with Nick above and beyond probably everything else because I think it gives a good history about what this means to the people in the UK who grew up on this, but also a history about why the game is what it is. And don't discount it because of the aesthetic or the theme or the name. Really good game. And if you're curious about it, go watch the playthrough. There you go. All right. Cool. Oh, well, there you go. Awesome. All right. So there you go. Tales of Noggin the Nog, or Sagas of Noggin the Nog, Tales of Northlands. Go watch a live stream, guys, of this. So I have 3 copies of this in here in the box. 1, 2. Already gave Amanda hers at BGG. 1 is for us. 1 is for Adrian, which I need to send, and another is for a giveaway. So let me move these out of the way here, guys, so I can actually make room for all the games. There we go. So thank you, Nick. Really, really appreciate that. There we go. Making room. Hey, There we go. All right. Oh, here we go. This is actually the Plexi from Albin for the Engineers Rulebook, and obviously Kickstarter coming January 1st for Brutus. So there we go. So one of the downsides of shipping stuff like this is on occasion you'll get things like this and you'll have to remember what game they were a part of. This one I do know. And if Aaron, you were watching this, you would also know that this is finally a year later. The stickers to Secrets of the Third Reich. I have been waiting to play that game because I've been waiting on the sticker set. I finally got the sticker set from the guys over at Ford Dadhouse. And funny story, but they actually sent it to me twice, they said, and it never once reached me from Spain. But nonetheless, I finally picked up my sticker set. So Secrets of the Third Reich, or Secret Inventions, the exact name, a game I was really looking forward to last year that I finally can play. So you're definitely going to hear about this and possibly see it on a stream in a future episode. But you're definitely going to hear about this on the podcast for sure. All right. Hey, Franny. All right. Hey, there's Nick. All right. Yep, totally agree, Nick. Thanks for the copy. And if you missed it, yes, I promise you're going to get an email with a certain invoice on it in the next 24 hours. I promise. So, all right, cool. So, finally, Secret Third Reich, able to play. All right, next, one of my 6 most anticipated games out of Essen from Japan brand, but actually it's from Analog Lunchbox, which last year they brought us Lagerstätten, which was a really cool idea, but the game kind of fell a bit flat. Felt like it was a bit undercooked, I thought. And so Airship City, this is a bigger box than what I anticipated it being in, which this is probably going to sound dumb, but it actually got me pretty excited about it. The fact that it wasn't a tiny little box game. So yeah, you guys want to see it? Because I've seen the components at the preview at Essen, but I figure y'all might want to see it because, yeah, Airship City, electing to make a new home among the clouds, humankind has assembled a variety of airships to provide utilities, thereby creating Airship City. However, the newly created city lacks both the means of transportation and vital public facilities. And as airship engineers, you will gather materials and work hard to build airships to further the development of Airship City. Will your contributions to the development of Airship City earn you fame as an airship engineer? I don't know. Let's see. All right. Secret Weapons of the Third Reich. Thank you, Matthias. By the way, Matthias, have you played it? Oh, Neil, the Slack channel, that's 100% on me. You'll get access today. So give me a little bit after I'm done with this so I can rest for a bit because being under the weather. But I will make sure I will officially send you a welcome email or a welcome message I do to all of our patrons, personalized one, and then I will give you an invite to Slack. So I apologize. I've been a little slow on that, Neil. All right. Hey, Dave. What's up? Banker Dave there. Cool. All right. All right. So, Airship City. A much thicker and bigger rule book than was in Lagerstätten. So hopefully, oh, that's all action tiles. So there's the whole rules. Nope, it's not. I apologize. Yes, it is. Maybe it's not. Yes, it is. No, I'm just kidding. No. Okay. All right, cool. So the whole rule book is, so hopefully it's a little bit more ambiguous than Lagerstätten was. So there. Oh, okay. So back of the board. That is the shipbuilding board. Oh, wow. That punches well. and you got to punch the center of it out, but that punched really easy. That's good. Wow, these are thick. Those are really thick. All right. All punch boards. Okay. And player boards. No wooden pieces. They're all cardboard. They're all thick cardboard. I mean, yeah, those are solid. I'm not going to say would stop a bullet, but yeah, really solid. So good. Looking forward to digging into this one for sure. Yeah, I've heard Fordados' rule books aren't the greatest, Matthias, so okay. Okay, Daniel says, played Airship City a few times. It's really good. Has a very thinky worker placement mechanism with the moving spaces. That I do know that they kind of, they can kind of go from one end of the board and wrap around and can be pretty tricky. So that's cool. Good. All right. Take care, Neil. Thanks for hanging out. All right. So there you go, Airship City. All right. I have, I'm hopeful. Let's put it that way. So we got a second copy of a game that we actually muled back, and another game from Japan Brand, sticking on theme here, that I'm really, really looking forward to. And get it forward to, get it forward. Okay. Order of Xanadu. Yeah, not a aesthetic that I would normally be interested in or that would appeal to me. But then again, you look at a game like Millennium Blades that I wouldn't have expected either, but really, really enjoy. So let's see, is it without a sticker on it? No, sorry. All right, I'm not gonna open this one because I already have the other one. And you know what? Actually, I think I can go get that. So a minute, so I can show you guys that. See if I can do this without ripping the mic off. There we go. Good thing I chose to wear pants today, huh? All right, I'm kidding, somewhat. Here we go. So, Order of Xanadu, I think, is only... Oh, okay. So little reminders of notes. So 5 green pawns in the barrage prototype that we had to take out of this to be able to play the barrage prototype. So special order cards here. Zoom in a little bit. There. We have ability cards. A ton of wooden pieces. There. This one we had to punch before we left Essen to be able to nest games in. So a bunch of the punch board stuff right in here. And then the player boards. So we have the Elephant Express. Obviously, that's on top. And that is the non-English side of the boards. But there are a lot of them. And locations, Heavenly Temple, Grand Library, Idea University, more boards, the Hotem Port, and the rule book. And that is pretty much all she wrote. So this is one that really, really appealed to me. The not so much the theme or the artwork, but the game length and just the description of the game. And I would have to go on to BGG to go back and read it. So I apologize. I can't remember a whole lot of it. But let's see on the back of the box. That's not going to help a whole lot, is it? No, not so much. But was looking forward to it, still am, and we'll get it played and hopefully be able to talk about it on the show, on the podcast for sure. And if it's good, then we'll show it off on the YouTube channel here. So, Order of Xanadu. All right. Oh, well done there, Board Game Trucker. That's some thick cardboard. Some will call it heavy cardboard. All right, cool. Hey, Greg. All right, Greg, one of our local patrons says, hey, if you need someone to play this on the stream, I'm all in. So, all right, good to know. So we have our local group, which is predominantly made up of patrons, but not entirely, here in Boston for folks to help out with streams. You guys have seen Martin Fowler, you've seen Greg, you've seen Ken, you've seen Christopher, Gaurav, and others, and there's going to be more. So we're going to have a rotating group, which is awesome. These are really, really good dudes. If you've watched the stream since we've been in Boston, you've seen them. So there's that. Hold on. One thing I forgot. Come on, put it on sideways. That's unfortunate. One thing I forgot to put in there is the little note that for Barrage, that's got to go back in there. There we go. All right. So let's keep on keeping on. Yeah. All right. So this is kind of part 2. You know what? Actually, I'm going to hold off on that until we show part 1. Oh, Lord, this is a really, really heavy box. So this was on my I'm not sure list before Essen, and it was a game that I wanted to actually lay eyes on before I, thought that it would be a game that we might want to check out. Rise of Nobility, The Future of the Five Realms. So it's fantasy, which, again, fantasy, not really sure. But it's half an hour per player. And let's just get into it and show you guys. Which doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot in and of itself. I understand. But let's face it, a lot of these games, 10, 15 minutes per player, maybe a little bit easier to discount. But the fact that this was a bigger game gave me a little bit more hope. So here you go on the back of the box. Rise of Nobility is a worker or dice placement game. Yes, please. Set in the same fantasy world as Cavern Tavern, which, again, you each own a small piece of land in a newly built city, and your job is to rise from anonymity, make your way all the way to the title of Lord, and take over the head seat of the Stone Castle. Achieve this by upgrading your land, increasing its value, and satisfying the demands of the Settlers' Council, attracting and housing as many settlers as you can, accommodating their needs, finding them jobs, and helping them develop from apprentices to guild masters, thus ensuring you have people in high places all around the city of Caveborn. So again, the theme really neither here nor there. This is one chock solid box though. This thing weighs a ton for its size, and its thick box. But no, it legitimately big. Oh, not that I'm not super keen on. Any publisher that may watch this, don't ever do glossy components, please. Don't do this. So these all have a glossy finish, and obviously they punch easy, so that's good. But yeah, don't do that, please. It makes it really hard to show these off on a stream because of reflection, but also just if you're in a well-lit room, the glare just isn't good. So please don't do this anymore. So a bunch of punch boards. This is one I'm wishing I would have punched because of the weight here. And it's got a little plastic piece for the punch boards, which that can now come out. And these also are all glossy. But looks like player boards of some sort. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Again, battling being sick here. Okay, we're gonna zoom out for this one. Yeah, maybe a little far. All right, so there we go. Again, the theme doesn't really grab me, but dice placement and dice drafting does. Double-sided board. Don't know how big of a difference there is between the boards themselves. But yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot, theme notwithstanding. And then, for the dice drafting, it looks like. So we have numbered and we have pips on that side, I'm noticing. And then, yeah, these are all little plastic containers in which, so these are all light wood pieces through here. Decks of cards. The production quality on this looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, it looks really good. So cool. Looks pretty good. So yeah, Rise of Nobility. And let me put this stuff back in, and I will go over who the publisher is. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, it definitely is a full box. But it all fits, and that's with the punch boards still, so that's good. Publisher is Final Frontier Games. I mean, cool. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So yeah, we'll check into it and see. What do y'all think, just from an aesthetic there? And then we have one of the other exciting aspects, as I mentioned, is we get random little bits that are in the box that get thrown in that have to remember what games they go to, which is always exciting. We have a little container in which we put all these in, and we will figure out what goes to what whenever we get a chance. So, like little score pads, small decks of cards, extra little cards like this. I mean, mini World War II, that one's pretty self-explanatory, right? But not always, so okay. Obviously, those are pretty easy to tell what they are from. Others not so much, and extra sticker sheet for Cerebus, stuff like that. All right, so the last thing in the first box of 3 today is one of my most anticipated games, one that hopefully you will see on a live stream. You're definitely going to hear about on the podcast, and that is Expedition Zeta, Charting the Universe from Ion Game Design. The folks that have partnered up with Phil Eklund, Sierra Madre, and that we're hopefully going to be working with going forward with all their Kickstarters and all of their games going forward for both Sierra Madre and Ion Game Design. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. Oh, cool. The cards are from Spirits of the Forest. I appreciate that, Jordan. Thanks. Ian says, played Rise of Nobility, thought it was a solid game. Production quality was, I think he meant to say, off the charts, as is their new game, Robin Hood and the Merry Men. Okay, cool. Oh, good deal. All right. All right, so Expedition Zeta. Yeah, really wanting to dig into this one. And it's 15 to 45 minutes per player, which really is not exceptionally long, which is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I don't know about y'all, but I definitely want to dig into this one. I want to see what's inside the box. So let's do that, shall we? Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads up there, Justin. Says Rise to Nobility just finished a Kickstarter with an expansion, which adds a bit more bidding and placement conflict. Okay, cool. Good deal. All right, Expedition Zeta. You know what? And before I dig into this, I want to read you guys what it says here on the side, right here. It says, the revolutionary Zeta planetary systems generator, used in the advanced game, generates random planetary systems. It is a well-integrated game component, and at the same time a device that can generate as many different planetary systems as there actually are in the known universe. Each of these with its own unique characteristics and even its own name. Thus, no two voyages to the stars will ever be the same. During the warp stage in the advanced game, you interact with the other player's crew members to gain advantages. Romance or intrigue may occur with varying effects. Interesting. All right. So, let's check it out. Start with the rule book. It's sizable. It's as to be expected. You're looking at 43 pages for the rule book. Not going to go through every page, but just to give you guys. Okay, so that was the basic game, and now it's a bunch of modules that you can choose to add in here, much like kind of a High Frontier type. Wow. Look at all these modules. And then, okay, so the solo rules start on page 30. Co-op, bot rules, and then 35 starts the reference. Well, there we go. That's not nearly as bad as what I was anticipating. And by bad, I mean like big, intimidating, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right. So these mats are pretty thin, but I haven't gone through the rule book, so I can't really speak to how the game plays yet, obviously. But there we go. So plays up to 5, I believe it is. Where is it on the box? Oh, I think it's on the back. Hold on. I believe it says 5. A moment. Yes, 1 to 5. So it's got dials. Looks like these punch out. Oh, this is going to be for the dials, it looks like. Punch boards. More punch boards. That is the ship there. Looks all right. Okay. And the base for the ship, I assume. Oh, wait, no. There it goes. Something, well, we'll figure it out. I don't want to force it. Decks of cards. They're all mini decks, looks like. And then, oh my. Hello, hidden compartment. Preparation grid. And that is the actual star system, it looks like. For some reason, I just had Star Trekking pop into my head. Star Trekking across the universe. All right, we'll put the ship back in here. All right. Oh, look at that. Mini card sleeves. For some of the cards, it looks like. Okay, cool. Some of these are some small components, but I'll zoom in for this here. Here we go. So we have different, wow, looks like build your own starships. Some of these are small little pieces, like little connecting rods and whatever. Scopes look pretty good on them, though. I mean, this really isn't my thing, but okay. So there you go. You got a bunch of plastic scopes of ships, looks like. All right, there. Then some little, oh, these are the little holders for the dials there. Lots of translucent dice, gems, large gems, small gems, and these are wooden silk-screened markers here. Take some of those out. Yeah, the sleeves were a nice touch, weren't they? That was unexpected. So yeah, these are just wooden silk-screen little guys here. Okay, those are nice. I appreciate that they're wood and not plastic. A couple of drawstring baggies and some plastic bags, and I think that's it. Let me see if there's anything underneath. Oh, there is more. Hold on. But wait, there's more. Anything under that? Nope. Okay, so there are two little inserts in here. That was nice. All right, cool. So two of these, they're stacked on top of one another. So nice. All right, cool. So that is Expedition Zeta. Very cool. Yeah, this is one I need to ping the local group on to get played as soon as possible, because honestly, I think this would be, I'm hoping it's a good game. I'm hoping so. Anybody out there play this yet? I know that Fun Again had it for sale at BGG Con. I know that, but I'm not sure exactly how much it was going for or anybody that bought it. There we go. All right, Expedition Zeta. And hey, we are now 1 box out of 3. Done. Move that one out of the way. And let's go ahead and get into the small box now. So this next box is the one that we actually shipped from town. So see what all nested? Yep. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep it as is. All right, so that is 1 box down. All right, so next up we had Christmas Tree, 2nd edition. So if you watched our Christmas Eve stream last year, you'll know that we kind of butchered the rules on this. So I went up and apologized to the folks over at Clever Green. It was at the end of the marathon or the Advent, and it was 27 streams in 24 days, and that was just a bad idea, and I was just spent. And didn't do so great on this one, so I apologized to them, but they handed me a copy of the 2nd edition with a revised rule book. And you may see this again possibly around Christmas time this year. And hopefully I do a better job with this one. So I would open the box, but there's really nothing in it. And the reason is because Athens was nested inside of it. And Athens was a game from a couple of guys that they had a big player mat that I don't have in the room that also made the trip with us. And this is both Athens and Christmas Tree. Both. I figure I would be able to tell the components between the two games. I thought I would be able to figure out which goes to Athens and which goes to Christmas Tree. So yeah, like this would probably be Athens, right? And this would probably be Christmas Tree. So there you go. So the two games, Christmas Tree, obviously, yeah, I'm not going to belabor the joke. Anyway, Athens. So they did something that the guys over at Athens, which the publisher is, let's get the name so I can. They discounted their game right off the bat early on after like the first day or so. It's from Baccum, B-A-C-C-U-M here, and Spiel Direct. Sorry, no, so it's Baccum Games. They had it discounted from like the second day on, and it just doesn't, it's not a good look. The game looked interesting to me though. Not ZOMG amazing, but it looked pretty, it looked worth trying, let's put it that way. And they had it discounted right off the bat, and it gave the wrong impression. I think that, yeah, it just gave a weird feel, like 2 copies for 30 or 1 for 22 for 30, whatever, something like that. And then the last day it was discounted far, far more, I guess, because they didn't want to ship any copies home. But that was always strange. So yeah, all right. So 5th century BC, through the Persian Wars, the Delian League was founded under the leadership of Athens. This alliance was actually the Athenian Empire. Athens became the wealthiest and strongest city-state in the world, but she also faced difficult challenges from inside and outside of her. In this game, you're one of the leaders of the heyday of Athens to contribute to its sustainable prosperity. You will expand your base, manage the people, and then perform an event in every round, preparing for war by raising armies, holding a festival with trading goods, and so on. You need not only make an effective plan, but also accept a bit of uncertainty. By the grace of the goddess Athena, your leadership will make Athens greater, which tells you absolutely nothing about the game. But it looked interesting. Got a copy of it. We'll check it out. We'll see. So Christmas tree in Athens. And again, nested because space, especially when you're shipping games. Oh, and then arguably the biggest game that we brought home was Cerebria, and the other piece, part 2, that I didn't want to show you guys until later was Forces of Balance from the folks over at Mind Clash Games. So Cerebria, emotions are battling kind of within a person, and you know, the light or dark emotions, and thought this was a really fascinating idea and concept for a game. It's got a very whimsical and very busy aesthetic to it, but the concept of the game sounded fascinating to me, and I really like Tricerian, so I really want to dig into Cerebria. So a bunch of minis here in the expansion game here, and the expansion itself, and then so you might be wondering why I'm not opening up these boxes. Well, 2 reasons. One, there are a ton of components in this. And the second was I wanted to highlight a channel. And let me see if you guys will give me just a moment. I want to get you the name of the channel. Somebody on Slack brought this to my attention. And it's not for Cerebria, but it was for Anachrony. Let me, give me a minute. Let me try and find, come on. If anybody in chat knows what I'm talking about, the incredible unboxing video and the strangest unboxing video that you're ever going to see on YouTube for Anachrony, and I can't find it, I apologize, so I'm not gonna take too much time on this, but hell. Go check out the unboxing to Anachrony. I want to say it's a lady from Russia, I think, or somewhere in Eastern Europe. So let's go ahead. I was gonna, but I'm doing a poor job of explaining it, so we'll just do it myself. Yes, the one from for Anachrony, Tony. All right, so we have the minis and the expansion here. So let's go ahead, because I know if you're tuning into Heavy Cardboard, you're all about the minis. Not really, but those do look pretty good, not gonna lie. Those look really, really good. All right. And Tony and Rob, if you guys could link to it, I think that'd be pretty cool. So anyway, so that's the minis for the expansion. Let's show you guys the actual main game. Try and there we go. Thank you. It's the longest unboxing that you're ever going to see, but the production quality on it is pretty ridiculous and over the top, but it's amazing. All right. The spire for the middle of the board there. And the artwork on these is really cute on the different emotions, and obviously the happier the emotion, the nicer it looks, right? Safety being a stone. So here, I'll go ahead. Normally I wouldn't do this, but the artwork is pretty great on this. All right. I mean, they're really cute. Trying to find some of my favorites here. Can't help but giggle. Euphoria. He looks really, really happy, right? So these are obviously on the light deck, meaning the happy, the positive, the all that, right? Cheerfulness here. There you go. So there's those. And then on the other side of the coin, you have the dark side. Boredom. Ho-hum. So let's go ahead and bust these out. Have any of you guys played Cerebria yet? Be it from Essen or if you were a Kickstarter backer or anything like that? Guilt. Here, we'll lighten this up a little bit. Jealousy looks, well, jealous, looks really perturbed. Loneliness, wow, this is kind of evocative, this one. Like, that's horrible. Like, I feel bad, right? Looking at some of these. Bleakness. I mean, it conveys the feelings, I think, in a kind of cute, whimsical way that isn't too over the top and too evocative to where it just makes you feel horrible, which I would have been okay with as well. And then envy. But I think bleakness might be, yeah, anyway, so gives you an idea. So again, more of the center spire. There's the stands for it. There are a ton, there's a massive, massive board on this, a bunch of punch boards, the whole 9 yards. I'm not gonna go too far in depth on it, but yeah. So Cerebria, looking forward to getting into that one as well. So we'll put that off to the side. And, oh, there's stuff nested in there. There is. Okay. Move that box out. There we go. Oops. Tsukuyumi. So another game that wow, where did we see this? Was it maybe UK Games Expo there? Yeah, I think so. So it has a pretty cool, it's a very much a Dudes on a Map from King Raccoon Games. Dudes on a Map, area control type game. I do have games nested inside of this one, so just heads up. But the problem that we had with this game, if we were to ever stream this, is it's done with standees, and standees with the top-down camera don't work really well. So let me show you guys on the standees here. To give you an idea, you have to be able to see the stats on these guys. And the problem is, if it's a standee, you can only see the top edge, which doesn't really work. So we may end up getting a second copy of this and then having one copy use the standees laying down so you guys can see it for where the battles are taking place, so on and so forth. So the game itself looked really, really good, and it looked really interesting. You build your own board with these tiles, and it looked really involved. And every time we saw it, it looked really interesting. So they gave us a copy. Don't mind Tapum that is there. We'll get to that here in a minute. But, I mean, this is, look at how thick this is. This looked really, really involved. It's a little comic book or graphic novel, Cyber Samurai story here. So it's the background as well as about the game. And the rule book itself is nested kind of within it. And the different factions, it gives you background on the factions themselves. So it looked cool, looked interesting. This one's gonna take a bit before we get into it, I have a feeling, but nonetheless, the player boards and its asymmetric powers here. Almost kind of a Borderlands-esque feel to it, to the game, to the artwork. So there you go, all right. I see everyone's still talking about the price of Cerebria. Yeah, it's minis. Minis are expensive, I suppose. So that is Tsukiyumi. So look for that talked about sometime in the coming months. And then there was the guys over at Looping Games, which there's more nested inside of this. They did something really, really cool for us, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Here with their copy of Tapom. I'm butchering this, I'm sure. So same folks as yesterday's stream of 1906 San Francisco. Okay, so Parapau and Pedro, as well as Looping Games. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a little bit. The game itself looks pretty interesting. But inside, we have a whole bunch of other little things. Again, this was nesting. So we had the little, let me turn the brightness down a little bit now on this. There. So we had the expansion for Nippon from What's Your Game? Then had Keyflower Tile. The Cameloquin for Keyflower. Christmas Tree cards. Mini expansion for Crisis. Let's see what else is in this. Pajarakos. I'm butchering that, I have no doubt. Little card game. Ramen. I'm a huge fan of eating ramen. Little card game, little cute little game from, let's see, Primogenio here. And actually met the designers at the booth there. That was cool. And City Explorer Kyoto from MOA Ideas. So that's what all was nested inside of this box of Tapum. And, oh, I think there's also more. Oh, yeah. And Space Race Intercosmos expansion as well here. And then I think the rest is Tapum. Yeah. Oh, no. And another little underwater cities expansion or a little promo as well. So there we go. So the guys over at Looping Games did something really sweet and really thoughtful for me, which I thought was really amazing. I want to show you guys this, and I've been looking forward to this. I mentioned this in the first unboxing or the first Essen haul video, and that was what they did inside the cover. here of the game, and that was this. Thought that was really, really cool that they did that. So yeah, 2 heavy cardboard, enjoy the war and enjoy the peace. Yeah, I thought that was really, really awesome that they took the time to do that. So that was a really, really nice touch. So thanks to everybody over at Looping Games. Thanks for, yeah, that meant a lot. That was really cool. So thank you guys. And as somebody who can't draw or has no artistic talent whatsoever, I appreciate that. That's really sweet. So, and that's also a good way to ingratiate yourself and get us to play your game. No, I'm kidding. But it was nice, and I'm looking forward to checking out the game. I've heard good things about it. So we'll see. So yeah, thanks guys. That was nice. So there we go. Tapoom. I still feel like I'm butchering the pronunciation of that, but all right. And the final box. Oh, hey, there we go. This was the playmat here for Athens. It is a massive little playmat. So that was cool. All right, there we go. That was in the other box. So that's the first thing out. All right. So we're going to start with a small game that probably isn't a heavy cardboard-esque game, but the host of Heavy Cardboard, i.e. me, has wanted this for 2 years and wanted to check it out. So Arkham Noir, a solo game by Yves Torigny. I'm butchering that, I know. Inspired by the stories of H.P. Lovecraft. This is #1 in the series. So it's a solo game and little 30-minute solo thing. Case #1, The Witch Cult Murders. Yeah, so not sure if from the folks at Ludo Nova, which also did Ceylon this year. Yeah, but it's one that I wanted to check out. So picked up a copy of Arkham Noir. There we go. Okay. Cool. All right. So here we go. Top of the box. We have the expansion for Concordia, which if you listen to my interview with Matt Gertz, he gave a very descriptive and very thorough covering of what this was from LyriaCon back in March. And they had it as a standalone game as well as the expansion. And since I have Concordia, I thought just take the expansion. So that's what I did. So it has partnerships in this game. It's not a co-op, but it has partnerships, which I thought was really a cool idea for a game and a way to breathe new life into existing maps for Concordia. So well done, Mac and the folks over at PD Verlag. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So looking forward to getting into this one as well. So Concordia Venus expansion. Next, a game that definitely is not heavy cardboard, but kind of had handed to us to the folks at, oh boy, got handed us. There you go. Cerberus, which kind of a cool little race game to where you don't have to be the fastest. You just got to outrace the other people where you're running, getting chased from the Guardian of Hell, Cerberus. Really, Eddie? Are you new? Look kind of cute, look kind of fun. This might be a maybe a lunchtime game. Possibly a little bit lighter, but possibly might have some enough thought. It plays in the right amount of time, but it might have enough meaningful decisions to do a little lunchtime stream. We'll see. Not likely, but possibly. Another game that was on my list to check out and wasn't sure about, and that is Fertility. Plays in about 45 minutes from Catch Up Games. It's a lot smaller. Like the table presence on this game, the components are smaller than what I expected, and I want to show you guys this. So the folks over at BlackRock Games, Cerberus, also BlackRock Games. There you go. So Fertility was the one that brought me to their booth, and I will bust this open and show you guys. Like, The components are kind of Clans of Caledonia smaller than what I expected. I feel like Pierre's bias. He's excited that that the designer and the publisher in French. So you can see a lot of empty space in this box here. So I want to zoom in on this and show you guys. I told you everything is much smaller than expected. So you have little tiny components here. I mean, sorry, my hands are really dry. But yeah, it gives you an idea. It's very much Clans of Caledonia kind of shrunk a little bit. Score pad. You got the player boards. Here. Oh, zoom out a hair more. There we go. So if you prefer it in black and white, or grayscale, if you will, there. More boards, and punch boards. So there you go. Fertility. Not a big game, but also one that sounded interesting to me when I was doing some reading up. So got a copy, and we'll see what BlackRock and the folks at Catch Up Games, we'll see what they came up with. All right. Next, we have an expansion, Santa Maria, American Kingdom. So Tony brought his copy of Santa Maria, and we streamed this back when we were in Denver from the folks over at Order Games. Gave us the expansion and the base game, which I believe was in the stuff that we muled back with us. So there we go. So we'll see what all the expansion brings to the game. Okay, solid midweight again. Then the big release from Spielworks and Jason Dinger, first-time designer. So congrats, Dinger, on getting your game published. So Captains of the Gulf. Played this at HeavyCon a couple years ago, or last year. I think 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago, I think. And played the prototype. It's since obviously been revised because Dinger is constantly tweaking and messing with it until Uli finally said, okay, enough, you're done, send it in, and this is it. So looking forward to it. So yeah, Captains of the Gulf. So well done, Dinger. Cool. Missed talking with that guy. All right, a game that so Alexander Pfister's Blackout Hong Kong. Early reports were that this was really, really good. Folks really enjoyed it. And since, I've heard that they really haven't enjoyed this a lot. And which is kind of a bummer. But I'm still looking forward to trying this out. I know it runs a bit long. I know a lot of people have lamented the graphic design or lack thereof of the fact that it's very black and very dark and very simple. We'll see. I'm curious to dig into it and see which side I fall on with this. It has a campaign mode over 5 chapters. I'm still, even though I've heard some mixed things on this, I'm looking forward to digging into this. So folks over at Egert Spiele gave us a copy of this, and yeah, looking forward to digging in, and we'll see. Okay, cool. All right. And the last game that we got directly from Spiel is Ariel, which from the fine folks, Gil Deori, who runs Mebo Games out of Portugal. He was like, yeah, this is probably light for you. But the theme on this I thought was pretty fun. And the Portuguese summer is filled with lively outdoor festivals called Ariel. Each neighborhood and each street hosts its own Ariel, where friends and neighbors join to enjoy music, food, and drinks. And players organize their own festivals, and whoever attracts the greatest number of visitors will win the game. So it's very much a Tetris-like game, that I thought had some cool decision making in this. We did a demo with Gilles, who is the silent third brother, the other guy they joke about with Nuno and Paulo. He also helped design Panamax for them. And this game had a cool little wheel in it here in which you're not allowed to manipulate the order or the positioning of the Tetris pieces and how they fit in your own tableau here. Thought it was a really cool idea, and think we want to maybe highlight this for a lunchtime game, but with more than 2 players. Thought this would be a cool one to do. And so Gilles handed us this, and yeah, we'll take a look at it as a lunchtime game sometime in the future. Now, there are more games still in this box, but these are all, and I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just going to show this, and we're going to call it a stream. Oh, this, if you see on the little window here, this is a big box. So a huge thank you to Tony Boydell, who muled this from UK Games Expo home and then back to Essen for us. So what is this? So Gavin Birnbaum, designer of QE, among other games, well, he has designed other games. And this is a whole bunch of those other games. I'm not going to go over them, but we had acquired these at UK Games Expo, and so yeah, it's a whole bunch of Cubico's other older games, and some of the newer ones as well. And a copy of, I don't know how you pronounce this, is it E? Is it Ys? Is it YS? But another older game that we got from one of our patrons and mods, Franny. So this one is definitely going to be streamed and reviewed on the show. And Backpacks and Blisters from the folks over at Ragnar Brothers, and a couple of other small little card games as well that we got from the UK Games Expo. So thank you to Tony Boydell. Yeah, and there you go. Whew. So, all right. So that's it. That's what we brought back from Essen. Now, there are a number of games that you guys haven't seen that are actually going to be sent from publishers to us, because honestly, if they offered to send it, then we happily, gracefully accepted, because, well, this was it's a lot of money to ship games back from Essen. So thank you to all the publishers, and as we get them, you guys will hear about them, whether that's on the Slack channel and Patreon updates, on Twitter, on Facebook, or here on YouTube, or on the podcast. So yeah, whew, that wasn't nearly as long as I thought it would be. And yes, that is a lot of wood, and those are very, very heavy games, Nick, for sure. All the Cubico games, because they're all handmade wooden games. So there we go. Cool. All right. So that is the Essen haul for what we brought back or had shipped to us. So thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm going to go take some more Dayquil and try and feel better and send out invoices to the folks that I need to, and answer emails and welcome new patrons. So that's it. So if you guys liked it, like and subscribe down below. If you want to join the 747, make sure we didn't miss any. Yes, 747 patrons. Go to, well, it's right there, pledgehc.com. Support the show there. Join me and some of the herd tomorrow night. We're going to be bringing you Smartphone Inc., as you can see right there. The first big box game that we're going to be streaming from Essen, over from the folks at Cosmodrome Games. So looking forward to that. So check that out tomorrow night. And other than that, like, subscribe,